It seems like a never-ending perpetual cycle in this hobby. You see one toy come out, another one comes out, and they fill the same gap in the collection. Same character, same attire, and you just wonder to yourself, do I replace the figure? Am I happy with what's in my current collection? What do I do going forward? And if you've clicked on this stream, you probably feel the exact same way. So welcome once again to this edition of the Toy Kennections online live stream, or TKO. And we're back to our usual Sunday 9:30 a.m. Pacific time slots. So looking forward to hearing some of you in the chat and chatting with our good friends from the A Toy Kind of Mood YouTube channel. You know what? Collaborations are a fun thing in this era of YouTube right now. There's a lot of channels out there, and that channel's link is in the description below, as is Dreadnought Ryan's Island of Misfit Toy Collectors, as he's going to be joining the stream, as well as Tony Romo's Instagram page, where you can see all of his customs. Now, look, I know there's going to be a lot of thoughts on this, and I know it overlaps with some of the topics that we've talked about in recent weeks, but when we finished last week's TKO discussion, it came up just in private chat. It's like, are we overloaded with toy options? And I know that the preamble talked about characters and figures filling the same character gap, but there's also too many lines out there, which is something I've touched on. But anyway, let's go on and let's go ahead, I should say, and bring on our esteemed panel. Now, he was on last week, and he's been airing some stuff earlier this week. So once again, from the Island of Misfit Toy Collectors and a part-time host on the Toy Kind of Mood YouTube channel, Dreadnought Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. Hola. ¿Cómo estás to everyone in the chat today? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, how is everybody doing today? Happy to join TKO for a second week in a row, and we got some great guests, don't we?
We do. I mean, we got one of them on screen already as it is. Aha, I figured out StreamYard. I pointed to the right direction. My instinct was going to go like this, since everything's mirrored backwards, and I decided to go against my natural instinct, which if I went against my natural instinct in toy collecting, I might be a few dollars richer, but you know what? That's part of what every toy collector feels. But anyway, we've got another guest host of a Toy Kind of Moods YouTube channel, but he's known so well in the community for all of his custom work. You can check out his link on Instagram, like I mentioned below. The ever so talented star quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo.
What's up, fellas? How we feeling today?
Sorry that joke never gets old, but
yeah, ask Punk with toys. He does it all the time.
Yeah, but the difference. He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Tony Romo. Lawrence
oh my God!
I'm always better. Come on now. You can't make a figure to save his life, right?
That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm just mucking around on StreamYard here. Can't seem to get it right, but okay. And also coming in hot and heavy, one of the most knowledgeable and insightful toy collectors I've ever met. He's pretty much regular on a Toy Kind of Mood, along with the other hosts, Bobby and Travis, who send their condolences. But welcome once again. It's been a long time coming to TKO. KJ, Kevin Johnson, Black Genghis, however you want to go by today. How was breakfast?
Breakfast was delicious. Thank you. I woke up. I was like, yeah, I got plenty of time. We're only going to start at 9:30, and it's 9:15. No, I'm kidding. No, it was good. It was always good hanging out with you, Ken. And you know I got love for these dudes. Oh, see, yeah, I have to portray my natural instincts. I got love for these dudes over here in the chat as well. It's always a good time. So I'm looking forward to this. Let me holler at the chat real quick. What's up, everybody?
What is up? Look at this chat, man.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy, today. And what just fell? Okay, sorry. Something just fell in my collection room, but it was one of the photos that was hanging off the side of the bookcase, so it's okay.
So I don't see antisocial. Shout out to Nolan. Shout out to Gazz. TJC. What's up, man? I see you. Shout out to Ostradamus. Lawrence, what's up, everybody? Everybody in the chat. K-Dawg, what's up, man?
Beast Battlegrounds in the house. Look at this.
Awesome. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I know you've said some of their names already, but Jeff Morris, Ostradamus Toys, K-Dawg, you've mentioned some of these names. Nolan, we've got Payne's Toy Samples. We've got, have I missed anybody yet? We've got TJC. Said hi to Payne's already. Silver K popping in to say smack that like y'all. Gazz, our all-star moderator. and good friend of the channel, Danjamin905, Ratface, James Ratface44, who's got an excellent channel as well. We've already said hello to A Punk with Toys. We've got Illumatic Prime. We've got Boba Hicks all the way out in Ireland. We've got Chinovo. Who else have we got here? We've got Jarhead with the really cool Steel Brigade patch logo there. And we got Bees Battlegrounds enjoying the apparent all-star lineup on screen. Black Genghis giving everyone the official what's up, just like earlier. And yeah, KJ Smith. And oh wow, it just jumps Brick something, who we were just on Mega J's channel the other night. So yeah, it's a busy chat this morning. So, and I guess people happen to like this topic. I should just give KJ StreamYard control so I can like run to the bathroom while he says hello to everybody.
Do what you gotta do, brother.
I keep it. I make a point to sign on as Black Genghis so that you guys won't be held liably responsible for whatever I say or whatever I end up doing. So
it's okay. It's all good. But today you will go by your alternate alias in KJ.
Yes.
So we'll just run with that. Look, the idea for this stream and this topic actually came from Dreadnought Ryan, though I don't know if I actually bastardized the topic and the description to what he was thinking, or whether I actually hit the nail on the head.
I was gonna say, was it during one of my rants? Maybe could have been.
Probably.
Yeah, you were probably ranting about something, and I wrote that down as a topic and just said, if this topic fails, I just blame him as long as he can come on the stream. You came on the stream, so I've already got a scapegoat before the stream began.
That's fine. I'll play heel today. It's all good.
You'll play heel. I was playing heel on Mega J's channel the other night. You can ask KJ. I was holding up the belt, patting the belt, and calling out people in the chat, and talking about steel chairs. And but by heel, I literally meant I was saying things like, look, going against Ken is like going against Doink the Clown. You hit your finisher, you pin one of them. Somebody gets up on the apron, distracts him. A second Doink comes and hits you with something, rolls the first Doink out of the ring, and then pins you. Ask Crush at WrestleMania 9.
That's the script, bro.
It sounds like some
we're talking wrestling real quick. I got to show these guys something really quick because we got something planned for Yojo June. So I got some core elements ready.
Oh, Warlord!
It's the Powers of Payne version of Warlord. Here, flash that up. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do something with this. These guys know what I'm about to do. They know what I'm about to do.
Custom time.
Yeah, baby.
Well, do follow Toy Kind of Mood Island and Misfit Toys, and as well as Tony on Instagram, because you don't want to miss some of the news. Like, I don't do a whole lot of news bursts, right? But Toy Kind of Mood's pretty good at doing that weekly, and Dreadnought Ryan's good at giving us some G.I. Joe classified updates. So definitely follow them, and then come back here when you're bored and want to follow the History Channel version of whatever they're doing. So yeah,
we got to get that Tony Fix guy to get that YouTube channel up and running so we can watch his amazing customs.
It'll all be custom tutorials.
Yeah, man. People are asking. I'm like, man, I got to juggle this with, like I told you earlier, backstage, the 2 gigs, the 2 jobs, and the daughter. It's kind of tough, dude. But I'm gonna make it happen.
You got to see Tony's doc. Tony's doc is better. I made a doc, and my doc's pretty damn good. But it looks like a chewed up plastic toy compared to Tony's. It's ridiculous. Look at.
I don't believe that. I think anyone's, almost not anyone, but almost anyone's looks like a chewed up plastic toy compared to Tony's. But there's your doc right there.
Big shout out to Cage's Customs. It's Johnny over here. He helped me with that, and he had the idea. And oh man, the loadout from Gridiron, awesome.
Yes. I can definitely tell with the Gridiron helmet and the backpack's Gridiron too, right?
Yeah, the backpack is his monitor.
Oh yeah. That's part of the loadout that came with him.
Yeah,
so
it's in there.
Yeah, some people can actually drive right over to Gridiron and pick up their stuff.
I'm saying.
This guy right here. I was over there like last week.
Yeah. But you know what? Like I was saying earlier before we came on camera, Tony, I almost got to bring you on just to talk about customs in general, because I only ever bring you in for these panels, right? And we do general discussion, but you can definitely touch on that here, because it comes down to, suddenly an official doc comes out. What happens with that one, or the Super 7 version, which I kind of want to touch on today as well, in general with Super 7, because it's a question of, is Super 7 filling the same gap as Classified? I know it's like half an inch taller. Go ahead.
With the Ultimates, that's almost like a bait and switch, because I look at those renders, they look great, the faces look great, you get them in hand, and nah, man, it's like.
Do you feel that way with G.I. Joe? I know with the Power Ranger stuff, it was like that.
The G.I. Joe Ultimates are like that too. Lady J is different, Flint's different, Duke's hella different. They promised a different sculpt. They promised actual sculpting with Duke's face sculpt.
I didn't mind the Duke sculpt though, but that's the only one I've seen in person is the Duke one. So.
I would say just stick with Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, and the Bats if you're gonna go Ultimates, like something that you just want that different look, and you don't have to worry about a face. That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
I think I'd rather get 2 Classified than 1 Ultimate.
Yeah.
Okay, there is that too, right? So
I mean, and I think Tony and I can both agree. We collect a specific line that's pretty expensive, and it's called Gridiron. I think that we've both now are considered that just a line in itself.
Facts.
Of just something that we collect.
Well, yeah, and Dreadnought, you did send me a very nice custom Desert Trooper, which actually has a lot of views. That video is one of my higher viewed videos on this channel, and I ended up putting the Gridiron Desert gear on it, and it looked really good. I'm tempted by a few other packs, like the ghillie suit that you just did a video on the ghillie suit 2 days ago, right? So
that thing is just I had to put it in the box because I just keep playing with it, and we were playing hide it in the yard yesterday to see if we could find it or not, and it was pretty cool.
But you know what? Anyway, happy to collaborate more with the Toy Kind of Mood this coming year and all future years. So Travis, Bobby, wish you could be here, but we'll cover your you're doing the Christian Cage thing. I just need yeah. Hey, let's launch into our discussion. So look, I mean, I've already touched on it, but we may as well just jump right to it. Do we have too many options for getting the same figure? And how do you navigate through filling that same gap every single time with same character? Dreadnought, how do you do it?
I think it comes down to, for me, it's a specific figure. So Zartan, example, I will get the Super 7 version of him. But as far as like multiple lines of the same figures, I'll pick one line just for simplification for myself.
Okay. All right, then. So keep it simple.
I think think you hit it best though with like wrestling figures. We have, if you're looking at WWE, you have basics, and then you have elites, and then you have ultimates. Well, we just got the ultimate Bret Hart, the Target exclusive. That pretty much puts the rest of them to shame. So, the boy is looking at probably taking some of those other Bret Harts he has and trading them in.
Well, the one you're talking about actually has a pink jacket that it comes with. So yes. To me, I missed that first exclusive that had the pink, the soft goods jacket. So now that I've got the one with the rubber goods jacket, you know what? I'm like, just go for it. Might as well. But to me, that's kind of a different gap. But depending how big a wrestling collector you are, you might just want one Bret Hart. So yeah.
But how, if it's your favorite character, it's your favorite, wrestler, whatever it is, sports personality, you tend to collect multiple of that one person. But I think if you're looking at over the course of a line, how many Snake Eyes do you need? How many Dukes do you need? How many He-Mans do you need till you get that one that you actually want? And for customizers like my boy Tony and I, we'll create that ultimate figure that we like out of multiples and then call it good.
Yeah, like whatever you call it, like best face sculpt with best accessory loadout, most detailed,
best articulation.
Okay, so can you debunk a theory for me? Are you not a wrestling fan, Tony?
No, I am. I was an old school wrestling fan in the 80s, and then I stopped really watching after Stone Cold and The Rock quit, and Rock went to movies and he came back, and maybe the time John Cena kind of stepped in, I was already like on the way out of watching it.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a fan of the old school, and like I said, that's the Attitude Era. I was big in the Attitude Era, the Undertaker, and all of them. And after that, I just stopped. I just okay.
That, you know what? You're like a lot of people.
Yeah, because a lot of my favorites are like.
Look, I stopped in the middle of the Ruthless Aggression era myself.
Okay.
Like John Cena was just on the rise. And then around that time I stopped just due to time constraints. Then years and years later, I came back for AEW, and I've been mostly back since then. But anyway, I know Ryan, we need to like have like a bloodbath argument over it. But I also haven't been watching AEW recently. Like I got invited to a Double or Nothing party tonight. I completely forgot it was tonight. So maybe you're right, Ryan. Maybe it is just a fad in my life. It's a few years fad, but anyway, sorry. I think chat numbers usually start to drop once I start talking wrestling. So, you know, I don't want to all of a sudden 0 people are watching and KJ has an amazing thing to go on about, because he always does, right? Like we've said, KJ is our Hans today, in terms of his insights. So KJ, too many options for getting the same figure in your collection. How do you feel about that?
All right, so there's 2 ways. There's like the passage of time, and then there's just like the bomb where I'm getting everything all at once. So rough example, Masters of the Universe. Before Origins or before Masterverse, you had either a MOTU classics that you could collect, or you had reactions, right? So both are from Super 7. You can get the reactions, the old school retro style figures. You could get remember the muscle figures? You can get MOTU figures. So you can actually get like Masters of the Universe figures in the muscle style. If you were just a fan of the brand, then you could just slowly collect those things. You could go back, get vintage ones. I want a vintage Cyclone. I want a vintage Rio Blast. Blah, 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 right? If you felt like, hey, I got money lying around, I'm getting a Mondo figure. I'm getting a 1/6 scale sideshow figure. It's whatever, right? And over time, because you've just been living with this brand, you have amassed this major league Masters of the Universe collection. That's one example. Love Bomb, yo, Walmart's having a clearance. Things for $5. Right? So now the next thing you know, without even thinking about it, you went to get eggs and milk, and now you have a complete Origins collection with Masterverse to go along with it. So I feel like there's a happy in between. You want 7-inch? Focus on Masterverse. You want an old school? Focus on Origins, right? It's really hard to like say, I'm just going to focus on this one aspect of the brand and not get everything else. If they just released Brave Star vintage today, along with the remastered 7-inch version, like your boy Ace with Ramen Toys, then I may have to be like, yeah, I'm grabbing everything Brave Star. They made that for me. But I think with all good things, moderation is really important. So I got this one Mezco Joe Destro figure, and I may need to just slow it down, because if I'm not careful, it's going to ruin the rest of my Joe collection, because there's nothing else like it.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, like maybe we've got a side discussion here. Like the Super 7 stuff and the Masterverse stuff is like 6.5-inch scale, right? MOTU Classics way back in the day, which is my favorite MOTU line. Does that fill the same gap as the 6-inch stuff? Because it looks bigger than the Marvel Legends. Remember when we used to have Diamond Select and Marvel Legends at the same time?
So that's a good point there too. I've been getting Marvel Select lately. My good friend Bobby Behar, who's also a co-host of the chat.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, you got to holler at these. Planet Hulk, Beta Ray Bill. I grabbed the Beta Ray Bill. Bobby was like, you got to check out the Blade. I was like, nah, I don't think I like the Blade. Literally, like 2 hours later, I just ended up just getting a Blade. I was like, all right, I lied. Let me go ahead.
All right. Yeah, and his name is pronounced Behar, not what I like to call him. Bexar. Well, because it looks like such a Game of Thrones type of name, especially with the second after it. So first time I met him, I called him Sir Robert of House Bexar III, and I think I want to say he kind of went like this when I said that. You know,
oh, really?
and that was the first time I had him on camera, right? And I think Travis said, actually, you say his name is Bear, and I'm like, I never listened to Travis anyway, so I'm like, you just don't know how to say the name. But apparently, Travis was right that time. It's a travesty.
It's a travesty.
Hashtag. Since we got the toy kind of mood here, this is today's.
We can say that, right? We could say
this is today's.
We deal with travesties all the time.
We deal with travesties all.
We're just ribbing you, buddy. We're just ribbing you.
Yeah,
you have to deal with my
I'm gonna get
all the time.
Messaged later. It'll be my fault. It's all right.
All right.
He'll talk radio.
He'll talk radio. Anyway, I'll just pull this up quickly. Robert Monti, one of the channel members, thank you very much for the super chat. And he says here, I just went through my collection and I'm selling off all my Marvel Legends, Extras, G.I. Joe Classified. Oh wow, Origins, NECA TMP, etc. Oh, to John, to John Level over from the Geek Dad Life community and the rest of Evil Bay. Well, John just opened a store recently, like a physical brick and mortar location. So if you're helping fill him with inventory and it meets your needs, Robert, I do hope that you continue to interact in the community, though, Robert, because I do see you over in other chats as well, and I know you're a channel member for a few different channels. So even if you stop collecting, I hope you stay as a member of this community. And I said wrestling, and a few of my heel friends have jumped in. We got Jeremy Kimberlin always giving me hell about HBK versus Brett, and Andrew Davis, who keeps threatening to steal my Intercontinental title. He found me. I thought I could just hide from here while I'm not on Mega J's channel, but Andrew's followed me over here. So yeah. And Jeremy, what you just typed, no cursing in the chat. I won't bring up your comment, but yeah.
I don't hate HBK.
Actually,
I don't hate him.
Okay. All right. And actually, a few people have said those two curse words in the chat, which open up the live chat feed at the 21-minute and 40-second mark if you want to know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this on the replay, but kids watch this channel, so I don't.
I apologize for using profanity in the live chat. It won't happen again.
Okay. You're forgiven, KJ. We can still be friends. All right. Okay. So
I think somebody posted it earlier in the chat, the McFarlane infatuation with Batman.
Oh yes, yes. A few people said that.
And I think it goes back, if we're going to tie it back to Joe's, it's like, how many Snake Eyes do we need? How many, all these different specific characters do you need to see 7 or 8 or 9 of before?
Or 17 versions, like Allison was saying in the chat.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have 17 Hulk Hogan's in my collection, but that counts vintage, so it's okay.
That's 17 Hogan's too much, but
I know you're not a Hogan guy even back in the day, so.
But KJ, you like the Mezco Destro?
I love it. I love the soft goods. I love the fact you can take the bracelet on and off, blast effects for the wrist rockets, and even the case. I mean, you had to do a little tinkering, but the case glows. Like, it has like glowing lights and stuff like that inside. And I have to stop. The same way that collecting Gridiron made it hard to use Hasbro accessories. Like,
yeah.
If I get a Fortnite figure, I toss the accessories. I probably need to like sell them because people will still buy them, right?
Hasbro has accessories, really? I didn't know.
Before Gridiron, I was buying Mezco accessories, and I was buying them like one at a time, loose, because I just wanted something that looked good, that looked great.
Me too.
But you're getting them shipped one by one on eBay, probably, right? That's probably what you're doing.
Exactly. So. Or AliExpress. I used AliExpress to essentially get Mezcos, to get like weapon packs that were essentially just bootlegs from the Mezco plant, I guess. But that's what I was doing until Gridiron came along and completely stepped my game all the way up. And rolling with these guys, it's dangerous. They'd be like, man, check this out. I'm like, now I got to get that too. Ryan's be like, check out this ghillie suit. It's like, now I got to get that and a grass mat.
We've done that to you how many times with superpowers, with Gridiron,
superpowers. I'm like, man, I don't collect retro style. And Tony's like, you got to get these superpowers. Man, those superpowers do look nice. This is Tony's fault. Tony did that.
Me and Bobby contributed to that shit too. Well, for all the people with Mezco, I mean, like, you get one Mezco and you put it with your legends. Doesn't it make all your legends look like total shit? Because the Mezco is awesome. I mean, it's like Punk was talking, he's gonna get the roadblock. I'm like, we'll just throw your legends over, throw your classifieds over here, put this. You put them in the other line. I don't know. That looks weird to me.
No, because sometimes. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say Mezco is like an LA-10. And your Hasbro is like, a Jersey 3,
To me,
destroy them.
Unless you destroy every version of Roadblock in every line. I don't know. Shit.
No, it's just about the level of play. It's like if I had a premium figure that was in scale with everything else, right? Maybe it'll be like almost like a boss level. Like, okay, we got to infiltrate this. And like maybe this is like, Iron Grenadiers. Like this is Castle Destro, right? This is like they have to level up. You know, like how many people had Spider Woman or something like that when they didn't have Baroness back in 2020? Like they had a substitute Baroness, right? And some people liked their substitute Baroness so much they just kept theirs.
Yeah,
and some you don't even have to modify at all, like the Fortnite Havoc figure that just stood in as my Firefly. Yeah, he's a tiny bit too short, but it's not like out of scale too short, you know.
It's not that bad.
He just looks like, you know, a slightly undersized, sleeker, more agile human being.
That's what I did before he came out and before I made one. Yeah, I had that Fortnite guy. He was cool.
He looks like me when I stand next to my friends, right? You know, they're always a few inches taller, so I'm just like, all right, I guess this Fortnite Havoc, I'm just gonna name him Ken going forward. So
I love what Nolan said in the chat. If you're not an enabler, are you even trying?
Love it.
And it's basically opening up yourself to play, levels of play. So just because the Mezco Destro looks nicer than Classified series, I don't think that should be a barrier to your play. Like lean into it, you know? Like be like, oh, the Crimson Twins are jealous of this Destro. Like still have fun with it. Take photos, like that kind of stuff, you know?
Well, and for the price you're paying for it, it better look better than those Classified.
That's what I'm saying.
Although,
I'm not getting into Fabsters. I'm not getting into Fabsters world, dude. I mean, Mezco is like a big rabbit hole. I'm like, I collect gridiron. No Mezco.
No. Mezco is not a rabbit hole. That's a black hole. You're going to get sucked in, and you're never.
The only thing I'm missing is Maximilian the robot. Look, man, back in 2020, I'll tell y'all, man, I spent I was buying Cobra Troopers for $60-$75. Okay. So me getting this Mezco Destro is like what, $20 more than that? I don't want to tell you what I spent on Classified back in 2020.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When Firefly and Viper were announced as exclusives, I splurged extra to get those, only to find out now there's going to be a more accurate version of Firefly. True. And then I got the Vipers in the 3-pack. So I got, 2 of those Vipers. And then I got 2 more in the 3-pack, which I know, Ryan, you mentioned that the shade of blue is a little bit different, which I've noticed. And I'm sorry, is that a Tim Hortons coffee cup? How did you get Tim Hortons? So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but how did you get Tim Hortons in the U.S.?
Put him on the spot.
I live in Michigan.
Michigan is basically it's Canada Part 2, man. Like,
yeah. Is there a Tim Hortons there, or do you have to drive across the border?
It's 2 minutes from my house.
Oh, my Tim Hortons is like 4 minutes away. You suck.
All right, so now I got to get donuts when we're done with this. I'm gonna go just try to.
Welcome. Oh, dude, I need a coffee today.
Just one donut, one coffee.
I tore apart my dials last night and stayed up way too late, and I'm just, dragging this morning.
Yeah, I was doing the Ken thing. I was scripting a video into the wee hours of the morning and realized, oh my god, I got to get up for a TKO. I had planned to watch a war documentary last night, but didn't get as far as I wanted to. So anyway, okay. So Tim Hortons are also in the U.S. I didn't realize. I don't know why I didn't realize that.
I'm not familiar with Tim Hortons at all.
That's what I expect. Right
over here in the AZ.
I'm from the Midwest. Tim Hortons is good.
What is it?
It's donuts and coffee.
Oh, okay. No, we got Bosa donuts. We got, I don't know, all kinds of different stuff you probably never heard.
I didn't know you were Canadian speaking moistly, but don't worry about it. We forgive you. You can
another Knucklehead.
Another Knucklehead. And yes, Ostradamus Toys knows me exactly. I was watching a Ken Burns World War II thing last night, but didn't finish the episode. Bad Ken. So what I do want to ask though is, as you get into the whole options thing, we've talked about the array of options. What about replacing something in your existing collection? Like all of you here do some customization to some degree. And do you replace the custom figure, or do you replace the version 1 figure of a previous official release? Because that's more money. And even if you sell the previous version, you might not get your money back. And then you have to put in the work to actually get it moved. So Dreadnought, we'll go back to you on this set of thoughts.
So I have the new rock and roll coming from BBTS. So that's going to be dropping here in the next couple days. And I have my custom rock and roll, and I will be replacing that one. I'll probably end up giving it to somebody if they want the custom figure. That's normally what I'll do with mine is I'll gift them to somebody if they want it.
Okay. All right. I've seen your rock and roll. It's pretty decent. It carries a little bit of the 90s look. I wonder if that's what you were going for, like kind of like 1990 to 1992. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The rock and roll you have in your collection looks a bit like what he would have looked like if he was in the Battle Corps. Or was there Battle Corps rock and roll? Was version 3 the Battle Corps?
The
anyway.
one with the two
huge guns, right? Yeah, the two
huge guns was 89, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mine is more of what we thought he would look like off of Hasbro's renders from their website. So it was a more modern update.
Okay, fair enough.
But I can also reuse the figure and body parts to build somebody else. So there's always options.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Anything else on that topic, Ryan? Or do I open up the vault that is Tony's vast?
I think this is the guy you want to ask the question to. I mean, he's, this guy down here.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I'm going to go for a long bathroom break, but I'm going to have my phone while Tony weighs in on this topic. So I'm going to full screen you, Tony, for the next 2 minutes while you go.
Oh, shit.
How do you have this problem worse than most of us, because not only do you have to deal with all the different versions, but you customize everything before it comes out. So
I know, man. Jeez. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna full screen you while you soapbox on this one. This is the question I've always wanted to ask you. Right? Either that, and Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, but this question is more relevant to today's topic. So go ahead. How do you replace that? Thank you. Go ahead.
Come on. Oh man. I'm in the same boat with Ryan. It's like we want the official because it's official. If it, makes us happy, it looks really good. I want it to go with my other ones, but I did make a custom rock and roll just like Ryan, and I'm kind of the same opinion he is. I'll replace it. I'll probably tear him down to make somebody else. I might give it away, or if I, like I said backstage, sometimes I like my custom, I'll leave him displayed somewhere else, or and just make all the officials their own shelf. I added another detail recently to get everybody in there, but with a lot that, to be honest, a lot of them, sometimes I replace it with the official and take pieces from what I've made already and put it on him, or just like slam them together and come up with like an ultimate, kit bashed type of rock and roll, or whoever it is. Like some of them, I've always had the problem of making them way ahead of time, and they come up with them. So much so is someone said, "Hey, is there a camera in your customizing den, Tony? Because they're making every damn figure that you've made a custom of already." And I'm pretty sure some more customizers out there have the same problem. And some of them won't even do it. No, I'm not making Shipwreck, because they're going to come out with one eventually. But I just, it's the fun of having them right then and there and now, and then posting them and see what everybody says. You know what I mean? It gets kind of addicting. It's all about having fun. And then I get to see what KJ's doing. I get to see what Ryan's doing. I get to see what freaking Ray Murphy from Ireland's going to do. It's all these crazy badass customizers. We all have that kind of problem, but that was a great question for all the other dudes that do this stuff too. So that's my take on it. Like,
I mean,
I'm muted. Sorry. In other words, there's no real formula. You sort of just do it because it's passion.
Yeah.
And if you replace it, but you don't really replace it. You just move it to a shelf or something. So
true. And then the time you spent doing it, that's the fun part. For me, it's the fun making it, and like, oh my God.
It's like Lego then in that regard.
Yeah. And then at the end, let me post it on social media and see what my peers think of it, and see whatever, luckily I get a lot of nice feedback, but I don't mind the constructive criticism at all. If I was positive, I have nobody really talk shit, just, if you do it, you do, man. It's your opinion, but it's a lot of fun making them, and a lot of times I'm so impatient with Hasbro. I'm like, I want him now. And I've seen, you know, we all look and see what bits and pieces we can. Oh, I can make that. And then these 3D printers who make the head sculpt. All I need is a great head sculpt. I'll make the figure. I'll find something to do. Yeah.
And you know, this is a good addition here. Like, have you ever had to scrap a custom partway through it gets something getting announced?
No,
not me.
Go ahead, KJ.
So I have my custom. This is the custom Stalker I did way back. I used the Killmonger base.
Yes,
and
sir.
so to answer Bobby B's Battlegrounds questions, that's a crazy figure soft goods beret that I use. So I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, that's better than like the plastic beret I get from Hasbro. So like I kept like this is still my Stalker. Like I like the techie nature of the plate carrier, stuff like that. Like actually popping the arms apart, putting them back together and painting them and all that kind of stuff. It's like that's my Stalker still, and I still love the classified Stalker. It's a great loving tribute to the original figure, but I just use it as fodder. I use it for green shirts. I use it for like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know, KJ, me and you used to be friends till you just said that.
Man,
can't believe you're doing my Stalker like that. Just can't believe it.
Because here's the thing about Stalker. Like,
boys from Michigan.
well, dude's from Michigan. Dude needs the jump pack. Like, I'm still waiting on Arctic Stalker. I'm still waiting on that Stalker with the kayak. Like, I'm still waiting for my Stalker. And if I feel like I dug how crazy sci-fi Wave 1 of Classified was. And them bringing it closer to reality, back down to earth, saved the line. It really did. But sometimes I will still tech out and sci-fi up my customs. I did that with my rock and roll. I did that with like a lot of that stuff. And I feel like Stalker needs some swag, man. Like, dude's looking kind of plain. This ain't 1982. Then get with it. But
I hear that. But I love that Stalker. Oh, no, Stalker was on sale big time on Entertainment Earth for like 13 something. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, my buddy Johnny, he got like a bunch of them to do the green shirts, to do the original 13. All of them had crew necks. Yeah.
Tony is a wizard. You can get that Winsor and Newton brush cleaner restore. You can take off the paint layers and still leave the plastic as is. And then that's what he did with Dusty to turn into Doc. You can do that with Stalker. The green shirts are right there. They're ready to be made. Make them.
Yeah.
Army Builders pack. You know, that's probably what they're going to do, right? And it'll probably be a Pulse exclusive or something, because they know that they'll make just as many as the others, but they know everybody, like the people who are going to buy them, are going to want 2 to 4. Some people will want 6. So I think it would, if they did that, they'll probably do it as a website exclusive, and then just let the collectors go feeding frenzy on getting several. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Paynes, for the link there.
Yeah, I've got a question, you know, because I think when you're looking at, is there a line that has too much? Whether it's McFarlane with the DC, where it seems he comes out with
Batman.
Yeah, or, you know, even now with G.I. Joe, you know, we went through, you know, 3 3/4 to 94, and then it disappeared, came in different scales with like Sergeant Savage, different stuff, and then the relaunch with the 4-inch, and then that went away. So we had this huge gap, and now, you know, they bring back what they called the retro, which is the modern, and then they launched Classified, and then they tried O-rings. Now Super 7 has Reaction. They have Ultimates, and we have Mezco. Is there sometimes where it's just too damn much?
Did you want to show us something, KJ?
Yeah. So, for example, this is the retro collection. This caused a bit of hubbub because it's not O-ring, like Ryan was saying. And you could get some O-ring figures like the Duke and Cobra Commander 2-pack. If you got the G.I. Joe Transformer collaborations, the figures that came in with those are O-ring as well. The Sky Striker HasLab, for example. So we haven't had too many examples of O-ring figures that a lot of those collectors would prefer. Even with these, for whatever reasons, these just didn't catch on. These were similar in articulation, like Star Wars TVC Vintage Collection, right? I feel like if they had gone one step premium, if they did like a step up from Collectors Club from 25th anniversary, so like this is for the adult collector. It's like I don't without the media. Like Hasbro has a point. They don't like doing stuff without media. Like they waited on Origins Snake Eyes. They waited on shows, Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Rise of the Beast, just so kids have a context for their play sphere. And with G.I. Joe, we're the only ones that have that context because of the comic books, because of the different cartoons throughout the ages, throughout the movies. Love them or hate them, take them or leave them. So I feel like this is for no one. Like the kids, they don't know this. They don't have a game like Fortnite. They don't have anything. They don't have a context of play from way back in the day. And these are too cheap for someone like me who would get a Hiya Toys, who would get a Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow at 1/18 scale, and I would pay money for something that was a premium product, right? And if I have to go overseas, I'll do that. Hiya Toys, Joy Toy. I'll shout out to Skeletron. I wasn't even looking at 4-inch until Skeletron's like, yeah, you got to get these 4-inch figures. I'm
True.
like, and like that, once I did that, it opened up a floodgate because of all the love and craft and detail that can go into a 4-inch figure. But if you're going to make something that's like kind of basic, then just because you hope that a kid will pick it up, a kid won't know what to do with it. Like even with the Netflix He-Man CGI cartoon, at least that was a basis for someone to then get the toys based off of that animation style. So
here's the thing though. So, my kid's going to turn 17 this year, but kids don't watch cartoons like we used to. Their entertainment is different and how they digest it and how they view it and everything. It's different from what we did.
Attention span is different too. Like the attention span is a lot shorter, I find.
And I think as adult collectors, we always go back to, we need more comic books, we need more cartoons, we need more movies. That's us. That's where we jumped in at it. The toy companies are trying to figure out how do you embrace these kids. And as Ken just said, they have a shorter attention span. And I think when we were kids, my old ass, but in 82 to 94, that was when I started school and when I graduated, right? So I had G.I. Joe for 12 years, right? Kids nowadays, they might be into it for 2 or 3 years and then they've moved on to something else. Yeah. So I think everything is compacted. And I think if you're looking at Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, any of that stuff, I really think it's like your kids from like maybe 11, 12 to 18 is that target. And maybe they don't want a cartoon. Maybe they want, I don't know, a video game, do a SOCOM, something. But I just think little kids, they're watching, SpongeBob and whatever else is on
The
there.
issue is the media on demand now. Kids don't know how to sit through like real cartoons. They can sit through the commercials. They can sit through like 15-second YouTube ads, and that's about the extent of their patience level, right? They don't know what it's like to flip through the TV guide and say, oh, I got to be up at 8:15 tomorrow, Saturday morning, because my program comes on at 8:30 and I'm going to watch all the way till 11 a.m. They just don't know that, right? And it takes away their imaginative play. I try to get my kid to like, hey, can you do some of your imaginative play? He can do Lego, but he has a hard time setting up battlefields for himself to do things unless I'm there, right? So, yeah.
How many of us are like that too when you're watching Disney Plus for The Mandalorian and you're like, I want to watch the whole season on demand. Why do I have to wait to next week? Because everything else is the season's released and you can go and binge watch it.
Mm-hmm. And then it's all video games too. I'm at my boy's house last night watching the Celtics Heat game, and he's got like a 14-year-old and a 8-year-old. One's on a tablet, one's on the phone. They're playing games. I kind of want to go in the room. You guys toys in here? I see maybe football, soccer ball, but I don't see any figs, any toys, any cars, any other.
I know.
The electronics, and it's the games or G.I. Joe. Hey, make a great game. That other game sucked, but I mean the other media. I mean, I don't see them watching cartoons either. So they're out there with us. They're with Dad and his cool friends, and then they have their tablet and phone and computer, and that's it. And then when you go back, when I was getting out of toys, I got rid of them all like an idiot to get into video games. So I'm kind of the same. But yeah, it's just different.
Well, it's feedback. It's interactive, right? So if I was playing like Halo in college, or Smash Brothers with my friends, then like I'm getting feedback. I'm getting, even if it's just like first person shooters or anything like that.
I loved Halo. We should do a whole stream on just Halo, but
you still playing? Hold on, where are my Halo figs at? They're trapped in the back somewhere. But the point is, they're getting a level of interaction that you're not going to get from something that's like a colder media, where I'm just watching a thing and that's it. But back to like what Ryan was saying, like, when is it too much? Like, if I have G.I. Joe Funko Pops and Mezco and Classified and G.I. Joe reactions and this thing and that thing, well, like, am I just like overdoing it? The moment I got the Ultimates and the Ultimates did not pass my muster, that's when I was like, okay, that's too much. I'm getting this just because it's G.I. Joe, and that's not good enough of a reason. I don't need this figure or this play factor. I see how the structure of this Joe Ultimates figure is, and I don't prefer it to Classified.
Joe Ultimates to me is more about the shelf aesthetic and what some reviewers have called shelf presence. I hear that term in the Transformers world a lot, is that part of what they review is the shelf presence of the figure. And because if you're not always playing with your stuff, which I know a lot of us are not, shelf presence is kind of number one, right? Depending on who you talk to. So that's what I like the Ultimate stuff for. But the reality of it is it's too similar to the gap Classified is filling. Yes, it's got the Sunbow look, right? But again, it's just... I struggle with it, right? Like I said, it's Legends versus Select. And back when I collected Marvel Legends during the Toy Biz era, it was not as big a company as Hasbro. So I wasn't sure if certain characters would come out. So I would buy the Select version if it came out.
Right.
So, those of you who collected in that era, that's why I'm more familiar with the Toy Biz era, because I had to make these kinds of choices back then. Right. Now that Hasbro's at it, you're just like, doesn't matter who releases what. If you're buying a Mezco version in the 6s, you're just buying it because it's higher end and has more accessories and guaranteed soft goods and everything like that. But you're not buying it to fill gaps anymore, because Hasbro's just going to fill the gaps given how many things they've released already as it is.
Plus, if you're talking Marvel, you've got SH Figure Arts, you have Mafex, you have so many others that are making different Marvel Legends that you can substitute in and out of your collection. And
that's just in the 6-inch scale, right? Then you add Hot Toys to it. You add the short-lived Marvel Universe figures in the 4-inch scale. There's so much out there, right? The kids' toys, the role-play toys, there's so much there. So anyway, 42 people watching. Why don't you all press that like button and get this video to spread to more viewers as we try to grow the channel and bring exposure to Toy Kind of Mood and Island of Misfit toy collectors. So... Ryan doesn't like getting subscribers, but he's over 500 now, so I think that should be right. When he hit, I think the first 10, I think he was moping. Then he hit 100, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna shut down and restart." Then he hit 500. He's like, screw it, just keep going. People know where to find me now.
You guys ever?
That's a good thing. Yes.
Did you guys ever replace? I would replace I was in big time into Legends. Marvel Select, like the big guys, like I don't know, Thanos and Juggernaut. I'd replace the Hasbro one with that Marvel Select one, even though the people talk about the articulation. They're like, this one just looks freaking way better, and you can easily throw a bigger guy because the Hulk gets bigger, gets angrier. The Juggernaut is just huge, and they fit in with Marvel Legends like nothing. So that's what I did.
So the Marvel Select Vision. And this was on sale at Entertainment Earth for like $20. The reason I got this wasn't to replace the Legends Vision. It's because currently, the last time I checked, the Legends Vision was like $80 or $90, like around the time that WandaVision was out and whatnot. I think it's calmed down a little bit more. You can probably get the Legends Vision for about maybe $30, $40, $50. But at the price, $20 was good. And yes, even though it's a 7-inch scale, Vision is, a synthoid, a living android, so it's all right for.
But is there a flight stand with that or no?
I don't think this has a flight stand. There was.
Yeah. because one of the things that somebody told me when they had out of scale stuff, they either have somebody kneel down so it looks like it's in scale.
You could do that.
Larger characters like the Hulk will always look a little out of scale anyway. Tony, were you going to point something out that you've done?
Oh no, just like I mean, you can display them in the back, kneeling down, like you were saying.
Yeah, and like if somebody's flying, they got a flight stand. There's always something you can do if you have the creativity of display space. Now, if you're like me and you just pack everything as tightly as possible, you can't really do that, right? If you look behind you, there's a lot of figures, but they started out as nicely posed and everything. Then I shoved a few more in, then a few more, then a few more. But like Tony's got a more balanced display back there, right? With your
he's got the DTOF. Tell them about that DTOF, Tony. Tell them about your.
Oh man, I lucked out. My buddy Johnny at Cage's Customs on IG. He knows I'm in Levine, and he's looking on was it Macari? No, OfferUp. I'm OfferUp, and then he said, "Hey Tony, you're in Levine, right?" Yeah, dude. In Levine, there's a guy like maybe not 5 minutes from you, not 3 minutes from you. He's selling a DTOF for $20. If you got the room, I said, "Damn!" And at the time, I kind of wanted to downgrade, kind of do the less is more thing, with just like my customs and some core things, but damn, I couldn't pass up the that price of another DTOF, and it fits really good, and then got me to do all the customs, and then put some legends back in there, and put my Marvel Knights in there, and some villains and some superpowers, and oh man, if this camera doesn't go off of me, let me reboot, but let me see if I can. Now the light's kind of screwy, but
yeah, you would need the light facing you, you would need a light.
That's horrible.
Right. Unfortunately, the angle of the lighting in your room is just not conducive for us to be able.
Yeah,
you need like a ring light or some sort of a light.
Yeah, I gotta get crazy with it. But yeah,
towards you, there's a big difference. I mean, I know I've turned off my lighting behind me, but this is with the ring light facing me, and this is without. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I have my room light in front of me. You get a big, huge glare on this glass, so I turned it off or I lowered it.
Oh no, I know, but you can cover the glare with your head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did.
Right. Whenever you see me on camera on one of my pre-produced videos, that's what I do. I make sure that the ring light.
See the monitor?
Yeah.
See the monitor?
Oh yeah. I totally
put my big head right there. I said, "No, I can't move." Oh shit! Okay.
Or if you move, just turn the beak of your hat so that it you're wearing it sideways, going full gangster style. Yeah. Anyway, everyone's full screen today except for Ryan. So Ryan, why don't you juggle some figures for us while you're full screen?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the best Storm Shadow with Gridiron Loadout, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Just don't get Travis's loadout when he's loaded down with every freaking ninja tool you can have.
I love that. That's Ninja Force style right there. That's Ninja Force.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is actually a really great comment here about the Transformers. There's an upgrade that usually involves a new transformation, making it worth another purchase. See, with me for Transformers, I wonder if they've hit the peak of their aesthetic with the War for Cybertron Legacy in Studio 86, because it's getting more and more cartoon accurate. Yes, the figures are getting lighter because there's less, they're using less materials, but the aesthetic, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what you're saying, but okay, I may have digressed.
I just want to show off my Transformer shirt real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, as far as the love of the lore and brand goes, we see with Rise of the Beast, right?
Yes.
Beast Wars, for a lot of American kids, that was the first time they saw just how different Transformers could be. They weren't watching Victory, they weren't watching Headmasters, they weren't really looking at that stuff. They didn't have YouTube where they can watch episodes of those overseas series, right? But because it's so open to interpretation, from Power of the Primes, Combined Wars, and then finally War for Cybertron, and what we're seeing with Legacy Evolution, there's always room for those different iterations, or you don't have to leave those behind. You don't have to get rid of your Beast Wars just because Rise of the Beasts are coming out. So we don't see that replacement upgrade
Yeah, they kind of serve two different audiences or two different interests within the same collector sphere, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited for Rise of the Beasts.
Yes,
actually, like I'm not really into the live action universe, but this one looks good. And because the last movie they did Bumblebee, I don't think they've done one.
Last one they did was Bumblebee, and
because of COVID, right? So I think Rise of the Beast may have gotten. Yeah, KJ, you've got a channel now, hey?
I do. It's Black Genghis on YouTube, and you're going to see some stuff very soon. I've been saying that for a while, but that's because I'm in a new place. Now I had to set up my area first, and I've also still been holding it down over at Toy Kind of Mood, producing shows there, that kind of stuff. So it is going to be a fun time. One of the first things you're going to see is what's going to happen with that Warlord figure and what I'm going to transform it into. And customize it.
Exciting.
And I'm looking forward to hosting all three of you on my YouTube. It's going to be fun.
Let's do it.
Yes, but I'm still holding it down for Toy Kind of Mood. We got something really, really, really fun coming for June. These guys have seen it. They know what we have planned. So
Terradrome 2, baby.
Terradrome 2? Oh, yeah, welcome to the Terradrome, your customs show.
Yeah. And we're working out some stuff, and we're fine-tuning some things so that it's not overstuffed, right? And so that it's going to be crowd-pleasing, I think, is what we're all aiming for.
Excited. Very excited. So the last thing I wanted to touch on today, and K-Dawg Broadcasting kind of mentioned it already with the new Street Fighter figures, but we've talked about too many options of filling the same character gap. And in previous episodes, we've covered like you just have too many options overload in general. But the one kind of subset of this discussion is, what do you do when you think you have a handle on things? You think my collection's under control, my habits are under control, and then suddenly a new series gets announced with an IP that you were always wishing they had. I'll start on this one because with Street Fighter, there was the Sota Toy Street Fighter from over a decade ago. Bought a bunch of them, got rid of them, said I wasn't going to do Street Fighter, regretted it. Said, I don't want Street Fighter anymore. Now, Jada Toys has jumped in, thrown their name in the hat as far as Street Fighter, thrown their hat in the ring. Name in the hat? Throw your name in the hat and you throw your hat in the ring. Whatever.
Name in the hat.
You throw your name in the hat and you throw your hat in the ring. So then your name tag jumps out of the hat while you're throwing. This analogy is not working. Anyway, it's not. Some jokes don't land. All right. Anyway, so anyway, like now Jada Toys is doing the Street Fighter thing. Just as I think I have a handle on things, I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna buy Ryu, then Chun-Li, then whoever. So how do y'all navigate that when something new comes out? So Dreadnought, over to you.
You're asking the wrong person on this. I have admitted in the past that I will fall down those rabbit holes and I have to limit myself to what I'm collecting. So it's Joe, it's Gridiron. I do have the Kickstarter for Robo Skull, but I have all that stuff, so I'll be good with that. And it's just picking and choosing figures that I want to do for customs. Okay. There's so many options to buy, and it's overwhelming. And I think it adds to so much stress for collectors, and it's angst, and it takes all the fun out of everything. I look at it like this. Street Fighter, cool video game. I can see why people like those figures, but at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, is this something I really need or I really want? What am I going to do with it? How many of us have totes of figures that we would buy and we put in there and we never did anything with? And I just can't do that with toys anymore. When I got rid of all my 4-inch Joe stuff, I took it to a local store and I traded in a whole bunch of stuff. And, the guy, we worked out credits. Dylan bought some wrestling figures. I got some other stuff. But what I realized is when I saw other collectors who saw what I had and they were like, oh my God, I've got to have this. And I knew that my toy was going to a good home and they were going to appreciate it. I'm like, that's what it should be. I need to stop hoarding so much stuff. So much cool stuff out there, but you just have to walk away.
Okay. In other words, you've got a handle on things, more or less.
I don't think I have a handle. I had to put guardrails on myself so that I don't go down those avenues I don't want to.
Okay, fair enough. My son just opened the door to the outside for some reasons. I'm gonna go check on him. Tony, why don't you carry on this discussion while I figure out why the hell he just went outside?
Go get him. Go get him, Ken.
Yeah, I'll go get him.
No, I mean,
he's going to get Ken's next Amazon purchase for whatever.
Yeah, he's got DHL. He's got freaking mailman out there. Everything. Oh man, just this same thing. I stay in my wheelhouse. I stay in my lane regarding financial reasons. But like he was saying, he made a great point on the Street Fighter. I'm like, I love the soda, but when I started getting into them or check it out, they were already expensive. They're already expensive. So I said, okay, screw it. But now with them, I'm like, okay, let's see. I got Gridiron is a line for me. You know, I mean, that's the excuse for wanting to make all my customs great. And since one of them have a Gridiron load out, Gridiron weapon, they all getting it. You know what I mean? They're awesome. So then Legends, I'm kind of just cherry picking because it's like I kind of got everything I want from them now. You know, for classifieds, I'm all in. The superpowers, they're only $10. You know that, like I said, for financial reasons. Oh, they're little. They're a great price. They look good to me. They look. It's the nostalgia. I always tell KJ and Bobby that. Boom. I'm all in on those suckers. I know how to. Yeah. I open it. I showed you guys how I, sneakily open in the thing and open the package, and I can put them back in, put them on the wall like KJ, put them separately in the display case. But right when them Street Fighters came out, I said, damn, okay, let me see some reviews. Boom, they started hitting. I'm like, dude, they started with Fei Long and Ryu. Fei Long is one of my favorite. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. So it's always been martial law, Fei Long, any Bruce Lee variant.
When did Fei Long start? Was it in Super Street Fighter? Was that his initial?
He came with DJ and all them, right?
Super Street Fighter. Okay.
Yes. So he came in. I'm like, damn. So they look good, and then the price point there, $25.99, something like that. Those new Street Fighters. I'm like, okay, I'm all in. I'm all in with that.
What do you got there, KJ?
Yeah. Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers.
Yeah, there it is. The
new challengers. Oh, so then those look good. So, and I would say that little line, because then they show Chun-Li. I'm like, ooh, they're starting out strong. And they're almost
pre-ordered her. I never got Fei Long because I only want the ones from the original World Warrior plus Champion Edition / Turbo. Sure. Right. And maybe Akuma because of his ties to.
Oh, he's OG.
Ryu. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to know this. Is it Ryu or is it Ryu?
I say Ryu. I could be wrong.
What is it, KJ?
It's all good. It's all good because there's different pronunciations for different parts of the globe.
Do you go with Ryu?
I go
Ryu, but for example, I go with Akira and not Akira, right? So
you know what? I've always called him Ryu, but because it never mattered for personal conversation. But when you're doing YouTube stuff and you have a channel, everyone's gonna correct you if you do it wrong. Like I think one time on my flag video, instead of calling it a forestal, it's such a subtle pronunciation. The ship I said was a combination of Nimitz, something else, and Forester, not Forestal. And that's such a minor pronunciation. Somebody picked up on it.
Right? Oh man.
Pardon my French, but F them.
Yeah,
I know. Like that one is so minor, right? Ryu versus Ryu is a lot more obvious. Yeah. So that's why I figured I'd ask the question. Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? That video went over a year before somebody said anything on it, and it wasn't because it wasn't getting views. So that's why I'm happy that it took that long.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna rant. But how freaking of a butthurt person you have to be to correct? Like for Christ's sakes!
No, because people, when you get into fandoms and communities, people get, I'm gonna say, hyperprotective or almost overprotective.
Butthurt.
Right. Some people like showing off what they know. They like gatekeeping. They like elitism. I don't think that's what Pericles I don't want to mispronounce it as well. What
Pericles Dragon Ball said. Yeah, this one's different because it's the name of the core character. But when it's such a minor thing as a descriptor, because the flag one was a descriptor that I used, right? So anyway,
but KJ, to your point, I get it's the fandom, and here's the thing: these are all made up bullshit. These are all fake shit. And we're acting like this is U.S. history.
But they mean something to people.
True.
And sometimes people
that's fine, but you can't control everything to make it what you want. It's got to be open to everybody. Like, I'm an old school Joe fan. I got into G.I. Joe 82, 83, 84, right?
Or you can.
Does that mean I can't like the neon stuff? No, because somebody might have gotten into Joe during that neon era. That's their jumping in point. That's when they fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So ask them why they fall in love with it, and then you get to experience their excitement. You get to experience their love, and that makes you appreciate something more.
When it's minor and it actually like helps you going forward, I don't mind the corrections as much. But I've had like people like I've had situations where someone picks away at you the way you like. I once said that the HasLab Sky Striker was larger than the vintage Sky Striker, and somebody just wouldn't let it go in the comment section. Right? It was just because I had it on a flight stand and the blast effect, so it occupies more shelf space, and he just wouldn't let it go. It kept saying, "You have to correct your video, correct your video, correct your video, correct your video." Are you kidding me? No, it did not. It did not. And then he went to my Facebook and started saying, "Correct your video, correct your video." So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pin a comment that says it looks larger than because of the flight stand, and you can no longer comment on my videos after that. That's my compromise.
Yeah.
That's my compromise.
That's
your word out there. The comment is pinned. Right. The videos, the comment is pinned. I think I may have even took out the 2 seconds where I said it's larger. I think I just said here they are compared, but I'm like, but that's your last comment ever, because we're not saving lives with that comment. There's official documentaries out there in real life that sometimes put out not so much false information, but like a little misleading information. You know what I mean?
Block those idiots, man.
I eventually did. Like, I gave the person a chance, but anyway, it's not meant to be a rant on that. But I'm just saying, I'm glad somebody mentioned the Ryu thing versus Ryu, because at least then now I know for going forward that I've got options for calculation.
For some people, it's not even about the correction. It's just about them exercising the power to make you correct something.
That makes me go against them even more.
Loud fanboys. That's what they do with Hasbro. That's what they do with the Joe team. They like feeling the power of control, of saying, I'm going to make Lenny do this, and I won't stop until they do it. I'm going to make Emily do this. It's like, get a fucking life. Sorry for my language. With some fans who are like angry, or they don't necessarily have social skills because of Arrested Development or something like that. I try to lean on the good aspects of the community. People like Ryan, people like Tony. Like, when I was posing, like accessories, guns in my Instagram, I'd be like, man, check out these MP5s. I'm like, those are MP7s. You're an idiot. And like, for weeks, like, the dude's like, oh, how are those MP5s going? Hey, it's the MP5 guy.
Oh,
like,
God. I'll correct you, but I won't be like
I had the whole F4 back to the Sky Striker for a second. I had the whole, is it F14 or is it an F15? I did have that, but that one wasn't as bad. That was just like somebody like half asking, half telling. And that one I didn't
have a cool person do that,
Well,
and
sometimes people have knowledge that they don't get to exercise in a way of
until it hits.
And that's why sometimes I don't. I give a bit of a leash, to like a bit of rope.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say leash, but I should say a bit of rope, right? You sometimes you got to roll with the punches, and sometimes you got to hammer down.
I would tell these people it's a magazine every time. A clip, the M14 has a clip that will you end up bing. That's the clip.
Or the other one, wrestling is not a sport. Sports entertainment. Yeah.
It's entertainment. You go do all them flips and slams and everything and see how you feel.
I'm saying
that's the thing.
The injuries are real. Come on,
Decal or decal.
I wanted to touch real quick. Someone was talking about AWOC in the chat, American Warriors of the Kingdom, and Ryan, you were talking about guardrails and holding it. So my first part with the Kickstarter, I got 3 figures. I also got General Thane as a 4th figure, some digital comics, the making of book. Those figures came in and they were incredible. I started getting Fortnite Peelies so I could have like apes versus bananas and like put those in my Instagram and whatnot. But then like one peely wasn't enough. Like this was on clearance. So I was like, do I get like a Roman legion of Potassius peels? Like, do I get 3 or 4? This is how my mind works. This is like how a troop building mind works. So AWOC, they make it easy. They look great. They even have like stripped down legion builders. So they may not have the armor, but you can still get like different troops that are kind of bare chested or whatever. They're cost cheaper. Extra heads. You can swap the heads and swap the accessories. They make it so tempting. And then they have like cheetahs and lions and all sorts of different legions. So I was like, I had to stop at my 3. I haven't gotten General Thane yet. They also have variants of General Thane. So they have like different larger figures that you can use. And I had to stop. I just had that first shipment of AWOC come in. And I already had some peelies from Jazzware's Legendary series. This is, I think, the only peely that Hasbro may have made for their 6-inch scale. And I was like, I got to stop. I have to stop right now. Like I have like Hit Monkey from the Deadpool 2-pack, and I have some of those 4-inch scale peelies. So I have like monkeys versus bananas in different scales. But it was important to stop. I didn't get the Gorilla Grodd McFarlane. I didn't get like the Page Puncher Gorilla Grodd that's like a mega figure. It's like I had to stop. Like what Brian said. And it's important because I didn't want to spiral out of control.
Yep. I got Fane because it's just a big chunky boy, and I want to have that particular figure because I just think he's just absolutely cool. But AWOC is Ken, we always make fun of him on 4 Horsemen.
AWOC?
No, oh gosh. The
Wrestling?
Which what?
Wrestling?
No, the 4 Horsemen make the legions, whatever.
Cosmic legions?
Mythic legions, yes.
Okay.
Like you could that's bad rabbit hole you could go down and
I'm staying away.
All right, hold on a second. I got something to show you guys.
Uh-oh.
And this goes right into what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I was actually curious if you've had any IPs that you suddenly had to jump in on unplanned, KJ. But yeah, let's go right into it.
Yeah, it was like KJ talking on the more options, too many options. What do you do? That guy finished it.
Yeah.
All right. So we want to talk about self-control, right? So I got these. It takes 2 to troop build. I got these Mythic Legions. They were having an in-stock sale, right? BBTS and also eBay. So these are actually from Mezco Toys on eBay. They were like $39. It was great. BBTS also had these on sale. Mythic Legions had an in-stock sale. Like I had gotten these, and then they also had Tibius, which is sort of like a version of the Skeleton Knight with different colorings and whatnot. And I had to make myself stop. Doesn't
Tibius have the same color pattern as Kratos from
yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah, it's basically like a God of War red stripe. Yeah. Skull, but I had to stop.
He's back there somewhere. He's behind my cleric figure. So yes.
So and then when I got these, it's like I can't wait to open these up. And I was like, well, let me finish up my apartment first, and let me go live on Black Genius first, and let me do all priorities. This stuff. But once I got these, I instantly wanted more, and I made myself stop because there's knights, there's goblins, there's vampires, there's moose wizards. There's all sorts of things you can get. They're amazing.
And once a month, Ostradamus Toys actually does a Legions class on his Ostradamus Toys live. Him and Brick Something and a few others jump on and they talk Legions with a bunch of their friends. So if you want to learn more about Legions, Oz is one of those.
I'll check it out, Oz. Thank you.
I think Dom on Toy Domination, who's almost at 1,000 subscribers, he actually does some Mythic Legions as well. Ryan's shaking his head because he just doesn't want to jump down the rabbit hole.
No, because they're beautiful figures, and that's part of it too. Is I appreciate what these creators put into those figures. It's not just the figure looks awesome; it's a piece of art to me. And seeing Mythic Legions, it is AWOC. Spiro Toys, Jason from Spiro Toys. He has put so much heart and soul into that. Ben and Mark from Skeletron, you can see what they put into it. Lenny, when we talk to him and Tony, you see the pride and heart that these guys put into these figures, and you want to support them.
The Savage Crucible stuff. Oh my god.
I talk shit about me having guardrails, right? But you know what line I just started picking up is the damn Indiana Jones Adventure series.
I canceled.
That's very finite, though. That's very finite.
I canceled that entire line. I cancel. If I find it on pegs, that's one thing. But like you said, I had to stop. I canceled a lot of stuff, Ryan, just because I had to the Raiders figure is perfect. And there's an SH Figure Arts version that's coming out soon. But I'm still like, no, I'm fine with the Hasbro. I'm fine with the Hasbro version.
Yep. Yeah.
But and it's like they did the Temple Escape. The Temple Escape was $39.99. And that's where I was like, okay, these guys are coming after my money at this point. And I'm
like Gridiron, like Gridiron and me.
Yes. So this is the exact same figure, but it comes with a diorama piece, and they want it $39.99. I just bought this figure. I just bought this figure $24.99, and now they're doing it again. It's the exact figure. There's no wash effects. There's no mud effects. There's nothing to make him look like he's dirtier from escaping the temple. It's just the same figure, and it's like it's such a naked cash grab. Like I would have preferred they just sell the diorama piece separate. They're not going to do that, and there's no one who wants that doesn't already have the Hasbro Raiders figure, and that was it. That was enough for me to be like, cancel everything. We'll see what happens when it's on the pegs, and I'm in the mood, and I have the money in my pocket to get the figure, to get Club Obi-Wan, to get Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword, and get Sala and Marion and everyone else. Grill Night, to that kind of stuff. Short round. Let me just see when it's on the pegs, and I got $25 in my pocket. Until then, I am not hurting myself through collecting.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like to answer the question there, the IP that you jumped down was Mythic Legions, but you're trying to get a handle and trying to get control on it.
I got control. Like once I got these 4 and Tibius was on the way, that order for Tibius, I must have had 5 or 6 other figures in that order. And I was like, nope, I'm only getting Tibius.
The one thing I'd love to do, and I just don't have the bandwidth, but I want to do it so badly, because Jeremy from Mythic Legions doesn't mind if people use images off their website as long as you credit the source, is I'd love to do like a deep dive on Mythic Legions and say this is the faction called the Army of Laodiceus. This is the faction called the Legions of Erethyr. Or Zylona's Flock, and just deep dive and just cover the characters as they are and cover the faction, the history. I'd love to do that, but there's 10 factions and then there's like a general history. That would be 11 videos to do that. And I'm struggling just to finish my LJ and history of wrestling series, which has taken over 2 years now. And there's only 6 waves, right? So and that's
here's the thing though that gives you time to where you can do it. It's just, I think us as collectors, it's that high of, oh, I ordered it, I got it. And then it's that time frame of when you're like, oh, do I really need it? Oh, I'm going to cancel my order. No, I'll hold on to it because I can flip it later. No, what am I hate that feeling. Mm-hmm. So I think, KG, you have it the best. Like, if I go and find it, I buy it. If I don't, I don't. Right. For me, with indie line, I'm like, I want Raiders and I want Last Crusade. Those are the only ones I care about. I'm going to get those figures that fit that, and then I'm done. So short round, as much as I want that figure, I hated Temple of Doom, right? So I don't want to say it was not my favorite indie film. So I don't need those figures. So
Temple of Doom was a prequel, right?
Yeah. Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Interesting.
It's if you want your collection to last throughout time, where it's not this albatross around your neck, that's something that you regret, something that's making you angry at yourself, then it's important to impose limits, to say like, this is what I love, this is why I love it, and this is all I need to love that. Like, I don't have to prove I'm the world's biggest Star Wars fan. I couldn't keep up with the people at G.I. Joe Classified Elite or on Instagram to be like, check out my 18 Vipers. That's great, man. I just got 1 Cobra Island Viper.
The army builders can get insanely out of control.
Exactly. Have you thought about, like, do the Cobra Island Vipers fill the same gap as the 3-pack? Like, because I'm sitting there going, I don't need 4 Vipers, but which 2 do I get rid of? Right.
People want the Vipers so bad that's why you have that 3-pack, because people they look cold blooded.
Yeah,
it looks so dope. Gridiron, man, we were talking about Gridiron. I love the Von Cannons. I do. They have sets They have Viper sets that make you buy more Vipers, a flamethrower Viper, a minigun Viper, a grenadier Viper. Python patrols. It's like, I'm like, okay, I know how to flex this. I'm gonna get this, and it looks cool. These guys have seen it. I've seen theirs. They've seen mine. It's like they're great.
We can't forget Mark II design when he does this kind of crap that makes you, have to have your Tiger Force Duke Ram cycle with sidecar now, or the glider that he came out with. These guys out there, they're creating these third party. The claw, thank you. Yeah. They're creating these great third party add-ons to your collection that just takes it takes that shelf that next level up, and you just like, oh, I've got to get that too. Mm-hmm. And you're, this is handmade stuff, and you're going to pay, more for it because it is limited quantity runs, but damn, it's worth it when you get them.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have room for it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So in the last few minutes, I'm just going to go open forum here. I know we've kind of had a semi format, but we've deviated, which is good. When the conversation gets too rigid,
especially with us, right?
Welcome to a toy kind of mood.
Welcome to ATKM.
That's what I wanted to call this stream, right? This is, if you look at the title, it's called a Toy Kennections kind of mood.
Yep.
Right. With the ATKM crew, right? That's what it is. But yeah, in the last little bit here, if you all just had anything you wanted to plug, mention something on your mind, whatever it is, this is it. We go open forum for the rest of this. Right. Doesn't need to be on topic. It can be off topic. Doesn't really matter at this point. So
no, as for that, I was going to say, Ryan, were you the one that brought up the figures and totes and everything?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. When I got the new Detolf, I'm like, ooh, that gives me, I was doing the less is more thing, but when I got that, it's like, wait, what's sitting in there that I want out and displayed? Those Todd McFarlane Movie Maniacs, the old school ones. Dude, I've been wanting to put them out. I would take them out every Halloween and put them in the entertainment center in the front room, and everybody would like, where's these? What year did they come out in? I forgot, but those were, I got the Freddy, the Jason, the Leatherface, the Candyman, and Chucky, and Norman Bates, and dude, they look great. On the bottom, that I don't want that evil looking at me when I'm sleeping. On the bottom. So no, man, yeah, breaking out them totes, but no, for real. Look, I mean, like you say, if they're in the closet, if they're in totes, it's like, dude, I'm like, let me just flip them, get rid of them for something I do want to display. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got a shit ton of Marvel Legends that are not in these. You know what I mean? So
all my big play sets are not displayed. Like even Fortress Maximus has.
Yeah, you're telling me that.
Yeah. Do you take a day? Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
What I was gonna say with Ken, with the Terradrome or the flag, who the hell has room to put?
I know. I got no room for that bullshit.
Terradrome, flag, and 83 GI Joe HQ are all in storage. Mobile Command Center is in here. It's tucked away, but it's like it's got figures all over it, right? Like you can kind of see it there.
I know who has room. Chad.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Actually, he's gonna be on later, so just awesome. maybe I mentioned that. Yeah.
Chad's got room for the real MMS in his freaking toy room. Oh man.
But I think for me, look, love what you collect. Don't stress about it. Enjoy watching other people share their collections. Like I love watching Ken's videos on his Transformers. I don't want to buy any Transformers, but I think it's cool to enjoy learning different stuff about them, understanding why it's important. But I just buy what you want and don't feel like you have to keep collecting just because.
I'm slowly learning that the hard way. Though if an Ace Hunter comes out, I might cave. Ace Hunter and a motorcycle just for gas. So, yeah.
I see. Are you collecting for somebody else?
Idea.
Yourself, Ken?
Well, a lot of thoughts on here. I could just hang out with you folks all day long. I mean, we're almost at an hour and a half.
43 people still hanging with us.
We have
just jump to 44. So yeah, we maxed at 45. So yeah. Yeah.
So,
oh, really? Nice.
So in this box, I have here are MOTU figures that I have
Yep.
not opened yet. Right?
Yep.
Stickman, Randor, Ratlore, like that kind of thing. And it's like I can't wait to play with these. Like I barely have time to brush my teeth into like open this stuff up. So the love is real. The love is there, and it just takes time. And because I don't have time to open all these, that really keeps me from ordering other things. Like it keeps me from saying, like, let me go out and get the nope. I haven't even touched my Snakeman yet. I haven't even like look how cool this is. Look how cool this tongue lasher is. Like I would love to give this dude like a guitar so he can like shred basically. Like I just don't have. I have to make time and I have to do things that is more valuable. Like right now, being here with you fine folks, that's more valuable to me than saying no. I don't have time to go on Ken's show. I'm gonna open up my MOTU figs. I will get to these. I'll get to Mythic Legions. I'll get to that Marvel Select Vision, and I have flight stands. I have like Hasbro flight stands and Storm Collectible flight stands that I can use for those. Cape Masters. Tony got me into go to the Cape Master on eBay, and you can get custom capes for your superpowers for the McLaughlin style and the vintage as well. So it's just about time is a commodity, space is a commodity. I treasure friendships, connections, right? So me, sending a gift to a friend of mine and we just geek out about that. We're still playing with toys. We're just doing it like long distance. And I get more enjoyment out of that than just putting it up in a box somewhere. I'm so glad people have the Cheetah Toys Street Fighter figures. I have the Storm Collectibles. Storm Collectibles were not cheap. I was able to get some on sale sometimes. Shout out to Toink Toys. Shout out to Toy Schnip. Shout out to all these places where I got these bizarre deals. But I don't play with my Storm Collectibles. With the Jedi toys, I can just open them up and then just start posing Ryu and Fei Long and all that stuff. And that I get it. But I haven't even opened up my Storm Collectible Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe. So it's just going to take time. I'm at a point now where I'm not really buying as much stuff as I've shown off already. I'm not really buying everything under the sun. Like I don't get the Marvel Legends Spider-Verse. I love Spider-Verse, but I'm waiting on SHF basically because I'd rather have those than a wave of figures that I don't really need or want. Right? I'm saturated, and it hurts because I love playing with toys. I love playing with my figures and my die cast and whatnot. But frankly, I get more out of it talking with you, Ken, and Ryan and Tony than I do just sitting somewhere.
It's so much. It's fun, man. It's so much fun.
Yeah, my dream is just to display it all in an offsite museum someday, which I think it's too much of a pipe dream. It's a bit too much of a pipe dream because you got security issues, you got maintenance issues. How often are you really going to be there? My good friend at Cherry Bomb Toys, I don't know what his new arrangement is like because he just moved. Oh no, it's still the same. It's still in the same building, but he did have a loft at the top of his shop where he put the National Toy Museum of Canada. But he has a shop there, right? And he's always there. And then the condo building he lived in was above the shop. I don't know exactly what his new arrangement is now, but I think I don't know where he's living, if he's still living above his shop now that he's moved. I got to talk to him, but that's kind of the ideal scenario. But it all centers around the shop, which I don't have. So, yeah.
You guys ever watch Nerdzoic? Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Yeah, doesn't he have a store too?
He has a store,
yep.
And he'll talk about him operating his store, packaging, water pumps to keep flood damage at bay. Like everything from the sensors, how he orders, like using the minimum order quantity, how he orders, how he stocks it. What people like, what people respond to, that kind of stuff. He'll bet on figures sometimes. I heard someone bring up Action Force, that kind of stuff. And like, it'll be surprised what sells and what doesn't. I'm not saying anything about any brands in particular. Running a store is totally different than being a collector. Because
it is right. I mean, some of us do kind of the makeshift thing where like, I know I set up at toy shows several times a year, but again, that's different, right? Like if I don't want to sell something for 6 months, I just don't. Right. But then you go into store mode when you go to those shows. And I'm thinking to myself, imagine doing this 365 days a year rather than, a few days a year or whatever it is. It's very difficult, very different. So, yeah. Anyway, I think we're pretty much touched on everything we wanted to touch on. But why don't you? Okay,
one more thing, I just wanted to show you. I'm so shit ass happy. You guys ever heard of this thing?
What are we looking at here? Let me.
2.4 gig wireless controller gamepad. It's called a game stick. Dude, this thing has like 4,000 and something old school games on it. It's freaking incredible, dude.
Where would you play it? Would you play it on your laptop or your computer?
It's like a Fire Stick.
So you play it anywhere.
You play it anywhere on any TV and anything.
Because I'd love to put it on my Chromebook that's right here. Is it what kind of connection? Oh, it's HDMI, so I need an adapter because my Chromebook isn't very duped out.
It uses the old PlayStation 1 controllers that come with it. This thing has over 4,000 games on it. And I got it locally. And, dude, I was so happy with this thing. Remember Rastan, Rolling Thunder, all the Donkey Kongs, all the Street Fighters,
what's it called again? Because I wouldn't mind doing that, getting two controllers. Yeah. If I can get two controllers and play against my son, I'd love to do that.
It comes with two controllers. Like, see, it's like a PlayStation 1 controller.
And how much is that?
I got it for $80.
I'm probably gonna have to get one and find an HDMI to USB adapter or something.
This thing is crazy.
Or HDMI to USB. Is that on Amazon or where do you get it again?
And the thing is on Amazon. I got this locally, but it is. I think it might be on Amazon too. But look for this specific one. It's got
send me the name so I don't forget.
See this little clover? It's got like vents if it gets a little warm. But oh my god, dude, I've heard some bad reviews and some good, but I'm like, dude, this is incredible. I could take this thing to the station, plug it in the TV, play freaking games on my downtime. This thing is crazy. Name an old school game, it's got it.
Contra.
And it's got Contra. It's got Contra. It's got Super Contra 2. It's got anything, and I used the damn code up down down B, left right B. It works. 30 lives right there, and this thing is insane.
I need to get that. Hopefully, I can play it here on my Chromebook, but I'll figure it out.
All disclosure, I don't have a relationship with these people. I just wanted to share, dude. It's crazy. I'm playing. I was like, wow, dude. It's really freaking cool. It's got all these freaking crazy games that you played back in the day, and it's got they're called emulators, right? It's got all kinds of platforms. So it's got the arcade platform of the game, and then it's got Game Boy, GameCube, Game Boy Advanced, Super Nintendo. It's got some Atari games on it. I haven't even touched them all yet. I can't.
How are you going to have time to play all those games?
Oh my god! You every other day, just do something different. Do something. Oh man, it's crazy. I'm stuck on that Neo Geo Samurai Showdown. Remember that? Oh my goodness.
No.
It's man.
Gazz just sent me the link for the .com website. I think it even has an HDMI adapter to it. It looks like so. If you don't have an HDMI cable, you can go HDMI.
It's like a Fire Stick
to USB-C
into your computer. Yeah,
it's like a Fire Stick. You do the computer. Yeah, it's got all that stuff.
Yeah. TV. You sold me on it, except I don't have time.
This shit is freaking crazy.
I don't have time either, but it's all good.
Oh, the boy will love it. It's got all the Donkey Kongs from new to old Diddy Kong. It's got Pac-Man. It's got all that. It's got Joust. Does it
have Pac-Land?
Maybe I'll check on it next. It's just jam packed with all the old school, a bunch of new stuff. But I stay on the arcade version because that's what I was big on. But it's got so much stuff crammed into it.
You got me excited now, Tony.
It's crazy. I wanted to share that. I'm like, do they know about this thing? Because it's
I don't, but I
late to the party. But yeah,
thanks, Gazz, and a round of applause for Gazz for being an all-star moderator in the chat right about now. I know Payne's threw up some links as well, but yeah. Anyway, any closing thoughts? What you're working on? Where people can find you, or just whatever you want to close out about, Ryan?
I want to say a big shout out to Payne Toy Samples. He hit 100 subscribers for his YouTube channel. So congratulations, buddy.
I meant to say that
pretty soon.
Yes.
So
thank you for remembering. Thank you for remembering to mention that, Ryan, because I made a note to myself when I commented on his post today about that he hit 100 subs today, and I completely forgot to mention it. So thank you for mentioning that.
And then Ben Conway, if you're watching, happy birthday, buddy. I hope you have a great one.
Happy birthday, Skeletron co-founder.
Yep. So
wow.
That's pretty much. And I love having my boys, my KJ, Tony. You guys are great. Ken, as always. Again, love what you collect. Don't stress about it. You know, it's okay if it does become too stressful. Reach out to your friends. There's people out here in the community who are there for you. Don't feel that you're by yourself out there. Let us all just come together and make things, you know, better as a community as a whole. And let's get rid of all the gatekeeping and all the other BS and just enjoy this great hobby.
Thanks very much for that. And sage words, wise words. Toy Domination just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Nice.
Look, congratulations, Dom.
He's about to get a subscriber.
Yep. Awesome. I think he was at 997 when I last talked to him. So, yeah. Anyway, Tony, any last parting words of wisdom? Or, well, I guess you gave us a bunch already with the with the gaming. But
yeah. Well, oh man, yeah. Just hey, collect, have fun with this, and shoot, man. It's just stay clear of all the drama. There's so much drama. I didn't know how much stupid ass drama can be involved in collecting toys, collecting figs, collecting cars, all that, you know, drama with people talking shit on Instagram and all that. I stay clear of all that and try to stay happy and try to stay cool. And it remains all kinds of fun. I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have met Punk with Toys. I wouldn't have met, you know, all these without this, because my buddies, my friends I hang out with from high school, they don't do this stuff. None of them do it. All I got is you guys, the community, the stuff that the people I've met through collecting all this stuff. It's fun. It's awesome, man. So yeah, don't start a beef with Tony. Don't start shit with me. Oh my god,
we squashed that shit real quick.
Yeah. KJ, you go ahead while my son gave me some breakfast to eat. So
I'm more fired up now than ever to finally go live with YouTube this Thursday, June 1st.
Oh my goodness, fun time.
These guys have seen you. I think you've all three are some of the few that already seen like my intro videos. You know what I'm about to get into. Road Pig is on the way. You're gonna see diecast. You're gonna see vehicles. You're gonna see crazy zany stuff. You're gonna see Agent Peely shooting at Hit Monkey and Gorilla Grodd. You're gonna see a lot of cool stuff. You're gonna see mixed media. You're going to see Legends and Marvel Select together. You're going to see a lot of fun stuff. But like Ryan was saying, yes, guardrails, yes. There's branches of my collection that I don't engage with, that I don't play with, that I'm either going to donate to toy drives, sell to friends of mine, like at retail, you know, or I will put that up on my eBay store, which I won't put the link on here. I'll go ahead and I'll save that for later. But to keep the collection active, to keep some money in my pocket, yeah, sometimes there's churn, sometimes there's purging. But the best way is to just say, I'm just going to stop right here, and I'm going to rock what I got. I'm going to play with the figures I have, and I'm going to enjoy the time I have with my friends instead of hunting everything down in some Faustian, you know, a Don Quixote chase of trying to get the ultimate collection that can't ever exist. Because you know what? I already have the ultimate collection, and so do you, because it's yours. Yep. All right? And so have fun with what you have and enjoy it with the friends that you have as well.
Yeah.
What a great way to close this out. I got to let Hans know he's got some competition as far as closing out the stream, because
totally.
KJ
and people acting like this, more collabs with all of each other. Oh, it's crazy! Like, man, people are in the chat are going off. It's fun. It's fun times with all these more positive people who have channels and stuff, and just more collabs like this, man. Ken, thank you so much for having us on here.
Well, I'll have to get some of you on. Ryan's already done this for me, but like, you know, like a pre-produced collab where we like do an upload of a shorter video. Anyway, there's the Toy Kind of Mood, the Toy Kennections Kind of Mood 2023 logo. When you put 2023 there, KJ, I was like, are you going to pressure yourself to do a 2024 logo, or are you just going to update the 3 to a 4?
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Why not?
Yeah, we got to do this again. I got to have you guys on Black English YouTube. Ken, we got to have you on Toy Kind of Mood. I'm still got to go to the island of Misfit Toys.
You do, man. You do.
We gotta.
I know. I've been, you know, doing the little videos I've done has been fun. When I do live stuff now, I want it to mean something to to actually bring something. So, you know, we were lucky to have Ben from Skeletron on. You know, what folks might not know is that was the first video that Fixer and I did, and you know, it was kind of like the finishing for us of, you know, him coming on one more time and talking to him. So I think once we get through Yojo, June, and some of the upcoming, you know, items, we'll pull everybody together and we'll talk some his tanks and everything else that we're all starting to hit with. So
sounds absolutely fantastic. Next week, tentatively, I've got the co-owner of Legends of the Hidden Force, Darren Howlett, on to talk his line. I have to make sure that nothing's going on with his day job that day because sometimes he works on the weekend. I've actually known Darren since even years before Legends of the Hidden Force was a thing. So I kind of want to talk about his history and the toy line that he worked on before Legends of the Hidden Force. So if I can get that on here and offer kind of a unique insight on that and go through again his history and the closing out of his Kickstarter in 2 weeks' time. But I'll get him on next week. I think his Kickstarter closes off during Joe Fest. Right, I think he's at about the 2/3 point now of getting funded, and there's always that last weekend surge. So hopefully he gets all that and at least a stretch goal. But yeah, gentlemen, it's been a fun time, and like people are saying in the chat, there's a lot of streams going on today. But anyway, you can find the links to all these gentlemen. KJ, I don't have your link in the description below, but it has been in the chat, so I can update that if you choose to. If you message me later, but I've got Toy Kind of Mood, Tony's Figs, and on Instagram, and Island and Misfit Toy Collectors. So anyway,
Kenny's under 10 grand to fully fund. So
he's 25 something out of 35 grand to make it there with
$25,256, right?
With something like 14 days to go. So not bad at all. Hashtag one community today. And
definitely
collecting family, one community.
Love it.
We'll call it while that amazing hashtag's on the screen. Thank you. Thanks everyone.